Good evening, Tri-Valley. Welcome to tonight's school board. I would like everyone to rise for the pledge, and after that we're going to remain standing for a moment of silence for Miss Patsy Ann Gray.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Correspondence? I don't think we have any correspondence. No? Do we have any correspondence? No. Should I read the resolution now or before resolution?
I would do the moment of silence resolution now.
Okay. For the moment of silence, we have a resolution. Whereas Ms. Patsy Ann Gray served as a staff member of the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Mrs. Patsy Ann Gray served as a Board of Education member of the Tri-Valley Central School District, and whereas Mrs. Patsy Ann Gray exemplified extraordinary commitment to the students of Tri-Valley Central School District, be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its thanks to Mrs. Patsy Ann Gray for her service, and be it resolved that the Tri-Valley Central School District extends its sympathy to the family of Mrs. Patsy Ann Gray during this time of mourning. Superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to those of you joining us virtually. So, I completed my virtual parent meetings today. We had approximately 135 parents who logged on for one of the 3 sessions. Some were on for multiple sessions. And I wanted to let everybody know that I thought the sessions went very well. The parents who were part of that asked very good questions, which we have answered and added to our FAQ document, which can be found on our website. Today we also posted video of the parent meetings. So if you were not able to see the meeting, you can feel free to go to our website at any time and watch the meeting so you can hear what questions were asked and what the responses were. I'm happy to also report that the Fit Trail is completed. I urge anyone to go up and take a look. I think the work is remarkable. It was done in-house by our buildings and grounds and maintenance staff, in addition to the summer student help that we had, but they've done a wonderful job with not only the exercise stations, but with the amenities that are on the trail as well. And we hope to use that many times this year as we're trying to get our students outside to minimize the amount of time they're in classrooms with masks on. This Wednesday and Thursday, we had our new teacher orientation. We have a young crop. It's a small crop, but a young crop of teachers ready to go. Everybody's very enthusiastic about what the year is going to look like. So they were welcomed by myself, by Mr. Whitaker, by Mrs. Kakis, tours of the building, and some initial professional development. So we look forward to seeing them in another 3 weeks. We also purchased it's called Easy Screen app. This is an app that will be downloaded to staff phones. This will give staff members the opportunity to pre-screen themselves before they come to school. So what it involves is that they open the app at home. They'll be asked to answer some questions. Things like, do you have a fever today? Have you been with anybody who has been exposed to COVID-19? Things like that. If they answer no to all those questions, they'll get the green light and they'll be free to come to school. So we hope to have that in place by next week and give teachers 2 weeks to download those and get used to using the app. And I also want to remind the board that this year's NYSBA convention is virtual. I did send that out to everybody. To date, Mrs. Pena has heard from 3 people. If you are interested, please let Mrs. Pena know. The cost is $260. And it's over 2 weekends this year, but all the sessions are virtual. Also, the law conference or the communications conference are an additional $100. So if you're interested in either of those, let her know at the same time so we can make sure you have a seat at the table. September 14th is the drop dead date, but the earlier we get in, obviously the more access we have. Are there any questions? Thank you, everyone, and thank you to everyone at home.
Thank you, Mike. Moving along. Do we have any items that the board wants pulled from tonight's agenda? No? So we're moving to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Pat. Second, Kim.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. It was unanimous? The vote was unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have board committee reports. I know the policy committee met. Do you have anything that you want to say, or?
What, the ones that are on here, the ones that we're doing a first reading for, that we discussed and approved?
Okay. Do we, forgive me, this is my first time leading the meeting. Do we vote on this individually, or?
We don't vote this week, this is our first reading.
Okay.
We'll do it the next week.
So do I
You
read
just
them?
go through and read each of the titles.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay, so we have policy 4765, online distance and remote learning, the first reading. And we have B, policy 5151, homeless children, first reading. Then we have C, policy 5151R, regulation, homeless children, regulation, first reading. Then we have policy 8131, pandemic planning, first reading. And then we have data privacy and security policy, first reading. Do we have any old business? No? Okay, we have no public comments. And I don't have any announcements or reminders upcoming, so we'll move to new business. We have the transportation agreement. Do I read that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Peter is all good.
Be it resolved, the board approves a transportation agreement for an individual student for the time period August 20th, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. And do we
Should
vote
we
on
do
them?
them separate? Motion
Okay.
separate.
Do I have a motion? Motion Aaron, second Randy. Any discussion?
Do any of the agreements change should we go virtual?
Sure. But these are students who have out-of-district placements.
So is that determination made by us? Like if we go virtual, do they follow us or do they have to follow the
No,
locations
they'll follow
over there?
they'll follow their individual placement.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Please proceed to vote. That was unanimous. Passed. Second, we have another transportation agreement. Be it resolved, the board approves a transportation agreement for an individual student for the time period July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. Any discussion?
You need a motion?
Motion?
Motion.
Motion Kim, second Kathy. Any discussion? No. Please proceed to vote. That was unanimous also. It passed. Third, transportation agreement for an individual student for the time period from August 20th, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion Brent, second Keith. Any discussion? No discussion. Please proceed to vote. That was unanimous, that passed as well. That moves to executive session. I don't believe we have anything for after the meeting.
No, we don't.
So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion Pat, second Kim. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. That concludes our agenda for this evening. Thank you very much, Tri-Valley. Be safe.